Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel and welcome back to another video. So I wanted to share with you my budget update for the second week of November. We did extremely well. We had some kind of unexpected things come up, but nothing drastic. And I'm excited to share with you our week 2 budget update. So remember, in my Dave Ramsey experience, I used the zero-based budget. I also used cash envelopes, and I also share with you the real numbers. This is the real deal. This is what I get. This is what has come in so far. A lot of these are not normal. I did take a trip in October. I took 2 trips in October that were work trips and got reimbursed after the fact. That money did not roll in until November. So it is definitely not true to form of what my normal budget looks like, but due to those work trips, I did have a little bit of an increase. I did have to spend money up front, so you can pretty much call it a wash, because when I was in Kansas City, I had to spend money for meals and transportation to and from the airport, all of those things, baggage claims. I had to spend the money up front and then was reimbursed on the back end. But anyway, just remember, we are sharing with you our very true numbers. We do the zero-based budgeting, and we also utilize our cash envelopes. So come with me and look at the numbers. Okay, everybody, so here is my personal budget sheet, and I'll just review this with you briefly. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm Shakema, a single mom raising my kids, and I am also a graduate of Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University. I use the zero-based budget and the cash envelope system. So this budget sheet that I'm using is the MYMT Personal Budget Worksheet, tracking weekly expenses. And when I found this sheet, the reason I liked it is because it gave me my month at a glance, but then it also gave me my weeks that I could go in and put in actual expenses that I spent each week. For me, that just helps me know what weeks of the month I'm spending more money or less money, or where I might need to shuffle some bills or different things like that. So my payroll deposit that I got from my job was $4,215.18. That was my normal payroll. Let me make sure. No, it was not my normal payroll, because in October, the last day of October, I get my supplement. So that was including my supplement. And that is what I budgeted for. I also have categories for kids deposit, YouTube, travel reimbursements, unexpected gifts, monies, blessings, or funds transfer that I have to transfer out of my savings account into my checking account if it's a short month. Now, with that being said, I usually take that amount and then I will go down and start to fill in all of my categories. My living and household expenses, my regular payments, things I pay all the time, food expenses, personal expenses, transportation, and then my miscellaneous expenses. And I'm trying to make my total expenses equal $4,215.18 so that I might have a zero-based budget. So with that being said, I'm going to scroll back up and share with you the actual budget. So I put in $4,215.18, which is actually what I got. Then for kids deposits, we actually got 2 deposits this month, totaling $732.92. Now the kids want to do a thing with Taekwondo, and I have exhausted all Taekwondo funds out of my budget this month. So I spoke with Dad, and he sent money for the kids to be able to do their Taekwondo thing. So it's not until December, but he sent the money so I could pay for it, because you had to, there's a deadline to say, yes, we want to do it. So I have the money allocated for their thing. It's $99 per child. So I will be allocating those funds. YouTube payments, I have not received any YouTube payments thus far for the month of November. I think last month I received $159. I believe that is the amount. Travel reimbursement. So I went on 2 trips. I went to Kansas City, and I also went to a place here in North Carolina, and total reimbursements for those 2 trips was $404.58. Now that is not normal income for me, because I don't travel with my job very often. I travel, but not back to back like that, and it's usually once in the fall, once in the spring, and once in the summer. So that's really about as much travel as I do. Then for unexpected gifts or money, my daughter sent us $100 for groceries for the month, giving us a total of $5,452.68 to budget for. So with that being said, I shared with you week 5. My week 5 expenses was actually the last 3 days of October and the first 3 days of November. And normally I pay all of my bills the first week of the month, or whatever day it is I get paid. I usually go in and try to pay all of my bills. So I was trying to put that in on week 1, but since it ran the last week of October into the first 3 days of November, I actually ended up putting that on week 5, and it worked out real well. So I actually have a true sense of expenses for week number 1, what I spent, and I'm going to recap for you week number 2. So let me go back up and talk about week number 2. Alrighty, so for my telephone, I paid $220.01. That is my cell phone and my son's cell phone. My son picks up my car insurance for 6 months, but he pays it in advance on October 1st. And so for my portion of that, because they won't let us split the payment, I pay his cell phone for 4 months. So I'm on payment number 2. I will pay his cell phone in December, and I'll also pay it in January, and then he will go back to picking up his cell phone in February. But I think that the insurance will come due again maybe around February. I can't remember, so I may be paying it because he'll go ahead and pay the insurance as well. Then over here for telephone, you'll see $42.51. This is not a normal expense. However, the kids have their own phone at home that their dad can call them on, and we use Magic Jack. And to renew our Magic Jack service plus to get the 911 service was $42.51, and that is the total renewal for the year. So I pay that. Normally I pay it in December. Our thing was coming due in December, but because I had a little bit left in the reimbursement money that I got from my trip, I just went ahead and paid it now. So that came through in an email, and I just went ahead and paid it, and we're paid up until December of next year. Alrighty, now my student loan, I went ahead and paid just my base payment of $156.12, and that is already paid. So with my student loan, my current balance is $6,099.22. So I remember when that thing was close to $10,000, I am $4,000 under that and hoping to be under the $6,000 mark within the next week or two, because if I get any YouTube monies, I'm going to put that towards my student loan. I'm back to the debt snowball for this month at least, just depending on kids' deposits. If nothing comes in next month, then I will hold the debt snowball, use all of my funds to finance me and the kids, and then I will pick it back up as soon as kids' deposits roll in and I can do the kids' taekwondo stuff from kids' deposits. I usually pay up front and then I reimburse myself on the back end. So for groceries this week, I had a couple of unexpected expenses. $19.17, I think I had to get some stuff from the dollar store. That was for Thanksgiving. And then $71.29, I actually ended up having a little bit left from the reimbursement. I had planned to just spend $50 and ended up spending $71, but that's still totally fine for groceries. I usually spend about $400 or so per month. I had only budgeted in $200. My daughter gave me $100, so that gave me a little bit of wiggle room in there, and that is what we spent on groceries. For personal expenses, clothing this week, this is clothing plus a Christmas gift, and I just took it out of my funds and I'll transfer those monies back over. We actually got my daughter a gift for Christmas from Goodwill, and then I found 2 dresses and a kimono type thing. So for total Goodwill or the clothing expense, $24.47 for the week. And then for doctor, dentist, all of that, I actually was able to finish paying up my MRI, which was $220.34. I was on a $100 per month repayment plan, and I had to pay, which was my total deductible of $1,250. So with this $220, I have finished up paying off of that $1,250, And now what I'm going to do is that $100 that was coming out of my budget anyway for that payment plan, I'm automatically now putting that towards my student loan. So my student loan is $156.12. I'll make that normal payment, and then I will put towards that $100 additional, and then any YouTube monies will go additionally towards that as well. And then any other source of income that I get that I can put towards that student loan, I will then do it there. Moving further down, so the kids thing that they want to go to is like they get to do this like a bouncy place or a jump, like a trampoline park is the best way to describe it. They go from 11 p.m. to 8 a.m. the next morning. It's an all-night thing with all of the kids and their friends. It was $99 per child, so $200, and Dad did send the money for that. So I've allocated those funds. For travel, recreation, and entertainment, there was $9.38, and I can't remember what I paid for, but it was $9.38. I don't really remember what it was I bought. Oh, it was some additional things we needed for Thanksgiving to take to my mom's. I didn't have any gas this week, but I will be gassing up tomorrow. So no transportation expenses. Although one of the things that came up just yesterday, I got in my car, turned on my car, I put my car in reverse, and I got a little indicator light that my rear lights were out, or that something in my rear lighting was out. So I took it to the shop. They changed one of my backup lights, but the light is still on. So I'm going to have to take it in one day next week and let them see, because I don't want to be driving, of course, at night without park lights, brake lights, or reverse lights. So I'm going to take it in one day. He changed the reverse light, so we were good with that. And then I'm just going to let him tell me if there's anything I need to get replaced. So I was thinking about it this week as well. Well, I'll tell you about that in a sec. Now for tithe, because I got the kids deposit and I got my reimbursement from the trip this week, my tithe was $71. So that gives me a total expense for this week of $1,034.29. Going back to the personal sheet, that will put me at, for my expenses, mortgage is $909.95, heating was $105.50, for water $43.09, telephone was $271.05. Again, that was my cell phone and the home phone. Internet was $78.94. Homeowners Association, we finished paying that up at $135. My student loan is $156.12. Amazon Prime was $13.12. PureFlix was $7.99. Healthways is $25. Taekwondo is $325. I can't tell why. Okay, let me figure out. That should say $525 and it's not. So I'm going to figure out where I put my Taekwondo money, because it's not showing up where it should. So let's figure out where it went. And this is one of the things about going back. Okay. Oh, it went to miscellaneous kids. Oh, it went to miscellaneous kids. Okay. I was like, wait a minute, where'd my Taekwondo money go? Okay. It's one of the things I like to do, always go back and reconcile, because sometimes I have made mistakes and couldn't figure out where something went, or why that category doesn't show up as, you know, being zero based or whatever. So Taekwondo at $325, CCRTU, which is my college, is $50. Groceries right now, I'm sitting at $408.54, and again, my daughter did send me $100, so I'm only like $108 over budget. But because I did get the reimbursement back from the trip and then a little bit of the kids' money, we bought some groceries for Thanksgiving. It just takes a lot. Personal care clothing, that would be $39.47. My doctor's bill was $470.34. I had only budgeted in $100, which was my regular payment, but I paid that off. Miscellaneous kids was $208. That is for their at the flip park. Miscellaneous YouTube was $169.05, where I bought the 8 terabyte hard drive. Recreation so far is at $74.94. That is purely getting ready to go to my mom's for Thanksgiving. Gracie, we haven't had to buy her food, and she has not had a bath just yet, so we still have her $60. as far as that being in her cash envelope. For the house, $32.08. We bought a little floor heater. For gas so far, we are at $60.01. Church tithe and offering is at $8.01. Our ministry giving is at $30. We put $700 into the emergency fund, which is actually our Christmas money. I sent a $50 gift off to a friend that was affected by the hurricane, and then blow money was $35. And I don't remember exactly what I spent there. I'm sure it was something, but I can't remember. I can't for the life of me bring it to my mind. But that gives us a total left of $193.45. And then a few things that I still have yet to be done with is I still have more gas that I have to put in my car. One more thing for ministry giving. That's a separate ministry from our church. All of my other obligations or responsibilities are met. So if there's any funds left over, then I will definitely put those towards the student loan from the end of the month. So if there's money left over from the end of the month, we'll transfer those into the student loan. But I still do have to get a few more things for Thanksgiving. So let me give you just a brief recap. Okay, so let me just recap a couple of things. As I was going through my budget, and what I do is I will go ahead and print out a copy of the budget sheet for myself because I want to make notes and different things. I actually knew that I was getting some kids money, so I'll just, depending on what paper it is, I'll make some notes of things I need to allocate monies for. And then I'm constantly going back over the budget. If you want to be successful in your debt-free journey, then you have to constantly be looking at the numbers. Sometimes things work out right, sometimes things don't. So it looks like I have a surplus of $193. Well, I still have gas to get. I still have to travel to my mom's. I may have to get something done on the car if to try to figure out that rear light, whatever. So that is not necessarily excess. I still have 2 more weeks of the month to go. So I'm always kind of doing that check and balance. I still have weeks 3 and 4 grocery money in my envelope, in my cash envelopes. So I'm good on that. But there's always unexpected things that come up. One of the things I realized today when I was going back and looking at my student loan payoff was I could have been $3,000 less on that debt had I not had unexpected expenses. Well, almost $2,000 more or more went for my car this year. Different times of the year, but it still needed some repair. And then being displaced for the hurricane, we had some expenses. And then $1,250 for an MRI. $1,250 would have gone so far to help me with that debt. But it is what it is. So I know that the money was not frivolously spent. So I can't say, well, man, I should be further along. I do look at my journey as opposed to other people's journey, and they're getting out of debt so much quicker. And I know if I took my kids out of Taekwondo, we could be out of debt like tomorrow. But because this is their only social interaction all week long, they homeschool, I choose to keep them in there. But because that's my choice, it doesn't mean that I can't pull every possible extra dollar out of this budget and put towards that debt. So I'm getting gazelle intense with it. My MRI is paid. The next thing is to start chunking away at that student loan debt. I don't plan to be in debt all my life. I am going to get out, and then I'm going to save up, and the kids and I are going to get a van. We need a van. We've got a big dog. We travel, and we need a van. And that is just how it is. Unless the Lord puts it on somebody's heart to give me a van, I got to save up for one. So that is just how it is. Some people want a fancy SUV and all this. I just want a van that I can take the seats out so the dog can have space, the kids can have space, and we can fit all the bags. That's it. So that's my goal. Pay off the student loan, get the van. And if I can do $500 starting in January of 2019, if I can do $500 towards my student loan debt, I will be out of debt by the end of 2019. So that is my goal. I have no additional debt. Now that's barring no unforeseen things that come up. So right now, everything looks great. I've paid off everything that would have hindered me. All of my YouTube income, unless I need something specific equipment-wise for YouTube. I want a camera. I'm still filming on my phone. I need a camera, but I have to weigh that expense versus getting out of debt. So I'll see how that works. I may be able to save for that and get out of debt. Just don't know. But again, my big thing is you will know what your numbers look like. Just continue to, work that budget every single week. If you don't look at it every day, at least look at it every single week. And that will help you to know what you have left, what you can spend, and what you need to put towards your debt. So I'm doing the debt snowball. The kids and I are here for it, and we hope you are. We hope your debt journey is going as well as ours. Not out of debt yet, but we are gaining on it. So thank you guys so much for stopping by our channel. We hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, feel free to give it a thumbs up, just as, hey, that was a helpful video. If you want to do us a huge favor, why don't you share it with somebody you think would benefit from seeing it? If you're new to our community, hit the red subscribe button. We love to keep you as a part of our YouTube family. Also hit the little bell. That way you never miss an upload from us. Thank you so much for stopping by our channel, and we'll see you next week with another budget update. Bye now.